Hey guys, this is V2 Vengeance, and today I will be presenting you a game played by Sasei in his Lowe. This is a tier 8 battle. It's on Sand River and it's on assault mode, so there are 5 enemy tier 8s and allied tier 8s per team. And in the enemy team, because the Lowe is really a tank that it's pretty good at sniping, let's see. Has 3 KV 34, so a lot of tanks that are very good hull down and that are usually better at closer ranges. So in that respect, if he wants to fight a T34 or a KV4 or an IS3, it means that he's probably going to he should try and fight him at longer ranges, because if he goes at closer ranges they are in advantage. They have those 120, the T34, and the Russian ones 122mm guns, very inaccurate, okayish penetration. In fact, the KV4 has 170mm as its top cannon, pretty slow rate of fire. So if he wants to fight him, he's going to play it smart, and probably those guys are going to try and fight in close combat. Now the Lowe has very good penetration, so he should be able to have at least that over them. He has better penetration than an IS-3 or a KV-4, but he hasn't got penetration as good as the T-34 that has 248mm, the best of all the tier 8 heavy tanks. Now I've been searching for something for very long time and I never managed to find it. And if you guys could be able to help me out, I would be extremely grateful. Now I've been looking for a Churchill. Like, the Churchill is my favorite tank. I've said it, the Churchill is my favorite tank. I'm not one of those guys. I do like German tanks a lot, but my favorite tank is the Churchill. And especially from all the models, believe it or not, my favorite model is the Mark 1 Churchill, the first one. And I've been trying to find 1/16 scale model of a Churchill. Doesn't matter really, Mark 1, Mark whatever, because they are very hard to find anyway, and actually going and trying to go for the Mark 1 will be pretty silly. And I've been trying to find on 1.60, actually 1/16 scale Churchill tank model, and I haven't been able to find one yet. So if one of you guys knows where I could find one, like, I know a lot of websites that sell tank models, but I've never actually been able to find one. So if you actually find, or you saw, like, you were browsing and you saw Churchill tank model scale 1/16, I would be very grateful if you told me where you found it. I've been searching for this for quite a long time, and I think my desk isn't full unless I have that thing on it. So thanks for listening to my little rant, and let's get back to the game. He's been fighting this KV4, and as you can see, he has intuition, and it worked as soon as he wanted to use it. This Hellcat is not able to penetrate him. He is fighting the KV4. It looks like the KV4 had a 122mm gun. This means that from this position that he's fighting, he's above the KV4. The KV4 will be shooting upwards into him, and so the angle of his frontal armor will be bigger, will be greater, and the KV the KV will have a lower chance of penetrating him. He's pretty much alone on this side. His luck is that he's been fighting against tanks that are lower tier than him, like this Jackson or the Hellcat or the MX-12T, and this is a lot of damage that he's been putting in. So he manages to kill a 12T, securing his second kill, and now he needs to deal with this KV4. I think he will be switching. As you can see, he switched to APCR. No intuition this time, so he tried switching to a different type of shell 2 times, and 1 time it worked. And why I'm counting this, I want to see if he has intuition on both his loaders, because I'm not entirely sure, but I do think the Lowe has 2 loaders. I might be very wrong about this. If I am, sorry, but the reason I think that is as you're going to see, the intuition is not going to work once, it's going to work a couple of times, and usually you need 2 loaders to get this chance, or he's very lucky, so one of those 2. There is an enemy T-29 in the middle of the field. The E-29 is a very dangerous tank if held down, and as you can see he's not held down, so Sasai in his Lowe will be able to put shot after shot into his hull. And even though the Lowe hasn't got a very good rate of fire, as you can see he's able to kill that T-29 pretty easily. He's also in a very strong position. The Lowe has a very strong turret, and the T-29 doesn't really have much of a chance penetrating his turret. Also the T-29 has got a really good rate of fire, and Sasai was deciding the step of the game because he was able to go into cover wherever he wanted. The T-29 couldn't, and so he picked up his 3rd kill, securing another 1000 and something damage on the T-29. Now he's fighting against this KV-4. As you could see, intuition got up again. This KV-4 has very strong armor. As you could see, he wasn't able to penetrate it with his normal rounds. The KV-4 shoots him. As you can see, he definitely had the 122mm. He wasn't able to penetrate the Lowe in his frontal plate because he was firing up, and he also only managed to hit the track. Actually, the very thick tracks of the Lowe, and it didn't stand much of a chance in doing any damage in that kind of angle. So Sasai is moving up, and there is an Su-152. He puts one blind shot into the tank. Now he's waiting for the allied light tank to spot that guy again. Where is that ISU? Also there was an E-25 in this area. There is the E-25. Can't see him because of the dune. By the way, I'm reading Dune right now. It's pretty awesome. He spots the SU and he puts one shot into the SU. He has a pretty good cut. Let's see. As you can see, this kind of angle, the SU has a pretty low chance of penetrating. His best gun, the 122mm, only has 175mm of penetration. And at this kind of angle, I don't think the SU would be able to penetrate him. He puts one shot into the A25, and actually the SU penetrated him, so yep, there's my bet there. And the SU has a very good rate of fire. He bounces once, and I think until he reloads, the SU will be able to fire again. And yep, he decides to put in a blind shot, and he kills the SU. As you can see, the rate of fire on the SU was so great that it managed to put 2 shots into him while he was reloading. Now he has 6 kills. He has just secured his top gun, and there are 2 enemies left on the enemy team. Well, of course there aren't 2 enemies left on his allied team. Speaking of enemies, I've been playing War Thunder those days, and there was a gigantic prick. They just waited for me to drive in front of him, and then he started pushing me, and he pushed me into a wall, and then he turned me over, and that was my game. I had to leave my tank because he wouldn't help me turn over. So he was a pretty massive prick, and I hope he gets banned. I did ban him. I did send a complaint to him, but I don't know how the report system works on Gaijin. And by the way, I might be able to put some War Thunder videos up because I've been playing War Thunder and having a lot of fun, especially with the Russians. The Russians are just overpowered. From how I see it, they are plain overpowered. I've been playing the KV-1, the first variant of it, and there we go, 7th kill. And that first variant of the KV-1, I managed to get in one battle 16 kills in the KV-1 only. 16 kills. That's a personal best, by the way, so I think that's pretty impressive. Like, I'm sure there are people who made better than me, but like, it's my best result, so for me it has to be impressive. And there is the last enemy, the T-28 prototype. Now the T-28 prototype can kill him in 2 shots. One shot he manages to penetrate the T-28, and I think the T-28 will reload before him. Only that, as you can see if you look up there, the time of the battle has just run out, and if we get it a little bit on, as you can see the replay has ended, and they did actually win because this was an assault mode and all they had to do is defend. Basically, if the enemy team didn't kill all their tanks or kept the base by the end of the time, they won the game. So he managed to survive this T-28 because I don't think there was any way he could have survived fighting this T-28. Even if he, let's say he reloaded before the T-28 and penetrated the T-28, unless he got an ammo rack or a fire, the T-28 would have killed him back. So let's see actually how much money Sensei got into with his Lowe, because the Lowe is a money maker, and when you do this amount of damage, I think you're going to get paid pretty well. And yep, he actually got paid very well. 130,000 credits, 3,765 experience, and as you can see, this is without a premium account. So with a premium account it would have been almost 200,000 credits, which is pretty big. Mastery page, ace tanker, fire for effect, shell proof, duelist, bruiser, steel wall, high caliber, tank, tank sniper, and top gun. And as you can see, almost 7,000 damage in the Lowe, 1,878 base experience and detailed report, 31 shots fired, 30 of those hit. As you can see, very accurate gun, the gun on the T-28, 24 penetrated, tons of damage, 2,000 that was dealt from a distance over 3,000 meters. As you could see, most of the damage he dealt was close targets like the MX-12, the KV-4, the Hellcat and the Jackson. 15 hits received, and actually in this game the Lowe's armor shined. Usually doesn't. The Lowe really hasn't got a good armor, but for time to time even a wrong clock says the right time. And by the way, I've had once, actually the saying was even a wrong clock says the right time 2 times a day. And I've actually managed to get once a steel wall in my Waffenträger of Panzer IV, because there was a Chiri that kept firing at me and he penetrated me with all his shots, but basically he shot me 11 times and before he died, because I was in a bad position and he kept shooting at me. And with 11 shots he didn't do enough damage to kill me, but in the same time what you need to do for steel wall, or at least how it was back then, you needed to receive 11 shots and with a potential damage of 1,000 and more and not die, and I fulfilled it, so I got a steel wall in the Waffenträger of Panzer IV. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about rating it, and have an absolutely awesome day. See you later.